Struggling with addiction can be overwhelming, especially if you don't have a proper outlet to turn to. Well, here is Junko Kobayashi, the president and CFO of Reawakenings Wellness Center in South Florida, to tell you more about her program. Junko, it's a pleasure to have you on the show. How are you?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you. Let's talk about something before we get into your facility, and that is the drug abuse problem in South Florida. How big of a problem do you think it is?
Well, you know, there's a lot of statistics out there, but there was a report that was made on March of 2013 by the medical examiners, and they've said that out of like 85,000 deaths approximately that they've examined, that there's 4,800 people who were a part of this drug problem.
Yeah.
And they died because of it or partially. So it's a big problem. That's only with a 6-month period.
Right.
Yeah, it's a big problem.
So those are huge numbers. That's very daunting. So this is where you guys come in, and you are part of the solution. Right. So tell me about Reawakenings and what sets you all apart.
Sure. So Reawakenings, we're a brand new facility. We focus in on detox, and that is for, there's a term called dual diagnosis, which is for people who have not only sort of the substance abuse issues, which is drugs and alcohol, but also possible mental issues too. So we do treat for people like that. Now, our facility is brand new. We opened up in October. We're really, really proud of it. We've got a beautiful facility. We have fantastic staff. We have medical doctors and clinical people, therapists, and so forth to help in getting people through that first step, which is usually the hardest.
That's what I was going to ask you. So let me jump in there. So even before people come to you, what advice do you have for people watching now that are going to have an intervention or whatever term you want to use with a loved one and ultimately get them there? Because I would imagine taking that step is the hardest part.
It is.
Yeah.
And one of the things that we say is, you know, we're dealing with people who are fragile and they're afraid, and we want to be able to tell them it's okay, we'll take care of you, we'll make sure you feel comfortable. We want to make sure that when it's a big step, and it's something that they're letting go that's very, very difficult, and it's hard because it's behavioral as well, not only just for the substance, but we say, tell them that if you want to go to a place that you feel comfortable, you know, really, really, really do your research and find out what kind of place you want to go to. And we're really proud to say that we're a facility that's extremely safe. We have incredible people who make you feel comfortable. When you come in, you're going to be basically welcomed with open arms. You know, you're going to feel like you're respected. I think these are very important things that you want to find out about a facility before you go.
So when somebody does come in, the first step, the detox process, how does that work?
Okay. Well, it really depends on the person.
Okay.
And what kind of drugs, or if they're on alcohol or, you know, prescription drugs, whatever that might be. So we do a full workup with a medical doctor, right? We have the clinical people come in and get a little bit of your history. So we want to make sure that before we start putting these, you know, protocols or like either medical or clinical procedures in place, that we found out exactly what you're going to need and how we're going to make you feel comfortable.
How do you make sure people are telling you the truth? I would guess people probably withhold some information.
And it happens all the time. And of course, even yourself, you probably can't remember a lot of things anyway, right?
Right.
So we definitely do tests. And the very first test, the most revealing one, is a urine sample. So we do that right away. Make sure that we understand what you're on, because if we start giving you medications that you shouldn't be on, that would be a big problem.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the first step, the urine sample.
Right. Okay. So now you've done that. The detox process is beginning. What happens? I mean, I can't ask you how long someone stays, because I would imagine it's different for every single person.
It is, yeah.
But what's kind of the timeline, the progression?
Okay, well, usually for the first 3 days is sort of when they're in, you know, intensive detox, and that's where, you know, for some people, especially I've seen with people who are on alcohol, it seems like a very tough process to go through it. It actually hurts for some people, you know. So the first 3 days are really intensive in trying to get them feeling comfortable, get their body to get used to getting rid of the toxins out, be it with medications, or like we also concentrate on, you know, what you put in as fuel, so food. And then after that process, usually, and it also depends on the insurance too, but we see, you know, 7 days is when you're finally kind of getting through that process of getting it all out of your system.
Rough 7 days.
Rough 7 days.
Rough 7 days, yeah.
Yeah. And for each person it's different, and it also depends on the type of substance that they're on, so
Right.
we can't really predict, but some people need a little bit more, some people need a little bit less. It really depends, but we look at it like 3 to 7 days.
And then from there, I know that you guys do a lot in terms of preparing people for sort of life after this, right? Getting them ready for a job, or just, you know, just being a better person or whatever, right? That's big.
Sure, it is. And we do some of that. Like I said, that usually happens after the detox process.
Right.
For us, like I said, we do focus in on detox, but we do also work with other facilities as well to kind of do that more longer term care. But in the beginning, for us, what we would do also is to help kind of behaviorally. So starts with being on a structure of waking up at a certain time, you know, having breakfast, and trying to get some normalcy into the life where there's, you know, everybody's doing the same project, the same program, be it group therapy or individual therapy, and really get them back into the world of what it feels like without those substances in your system.
Right.
You could talk to our admissions person, because that's usually the first person that you'll end up getting the call to, and he'll walk you through it, and he'll say, well, how are you feeling? What do you want to do? You know, do you want to try it out? You know, it's
Right.
really about talking and just getting a feel for whether or not they want to come in.
Yeah, and do you find people usually after they've left, do they come back and give you a hug? And do you have any of those great stories that you can share?
We do. We've had one family where their son is everything to them.
Yeah.
And their son came in, and we received the most beautiful letter with a picture of their son when he was just a little boy, saying, "You're saved him. Thank you so much." And it came in the mail.
Wow.
Just like that. Yeah.
Right, makes it all worth it, right?
Ah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay, so if people want to reach out to you, how do they do that?
So it's our website is reawakeningswellness.com, and if you go there, you can find out a little bit about who all our staff is, our phone number, and you know, you can call us at any time. We're open literally 24 hours a day, 365 days a year.
Right.
Yeah.
You guys have a fitness facility too, a gym?
We do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fully you know, functional with all the different equipment.
Right.
We also have a trainer that's on our staff who comes in on days to help you through and start that idea of you know, adding physical fitness into your daily routine. And we also have a fully outfitted kitchen where we cook gourmet meals. We have a chef that's traveled the world, who's very much into health and nutrition, and we also have a dietitian to assist him, and we create amazing meals you know, all day long for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And so, you know, you're not eating takeout food,
Right, sure.
which normally happens in, you know,
Yeah.
in the real world, but
Right.
in our world we actually want to have
Wow.
great food and you know, energy to help you get through that detox process.
Well, terrific. Thank you so much for coming in, Junko. I appreciate it. It was nice to talk to you.
Thank you. Nice to talk to you too.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Junko, and that'll do it for our show this week. If you have any questions or any ideas as to what we should cover, all you have to do is follow us on Twitter at WSFL, or you can get us on Facebook at SFLCW and Inside South Florida. We will see you next weekend, and of course, as always, we'll see you every weekday morning from 6 to 8 on Eye Opener right here on SFL TV. Have a great rest of your week.